Welcome, everybody. John Aravosis here, a special edition of the Aravosis Report, here to talk with our friend Vlad in Ukraine about the latest and do a little pitch for our fundraiser for Ukrainian troops. Let me get TikTok rolling on my iPad here because we're going to do both simultaneously, and then we get rolling. I got to figure out how to do this. I think I just hit the live button and it knows. Yes, it knows. All right, excellent. All right, go live. All right. Give me a second here. Anyway, hello all. All right. I can switch my screen. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that evil thing. Don't do that evil thing. Hang on. Enhance. Oh, really? Did it change it again? All right. Welcome, TikTokers. They changed my settings on TikTok again. God, I hate these people. Hey guys. TikTok has changed my settings again. One moment here. All right. I'm just trying to figure out how to flip my screen. You know what? Well, it would help actually. Hey, TikTokers, one quick sec here while I figure out how to mirror my video. TikTok literally changed their settings again. Oh, there's Vlad. Hey, Vlad. Boom. Did I invite Vlad? Hopefully I invited Vlad. All right. Let's see how this works. And you guys will be able to hear Vlad, but you won't see. There you are. Oh, no, wait, talk a second, Vlad, so I can make sure I can hear you. Oh, okay, hang on. Let me unplug and plug you in again. All right, try talking again. Talk again.
I don't hear you.
Oh, now you don't hear me, but I hear you. This is funny. All right, let me try this. I'm going to plug my mic in again, either way. All right, are you still hearing me or not, Vlad? Now I don't hear you again. This is hilarious. All right, this is going to be difficult. Hold on. I'm going to try this again with the speaker. Try talking again.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, but do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, now it works. Okay, good. All right. And remember, it's going to be, you might get a little echo from Vlad. Actually, both of you may get a little echo from Vlad. We'll see. Oops, put that back. Oh, there we go. Anyway, so welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us, Vlad. Vlad has his, look at you with your, actually, we're the auction. Ooh, it may have just finished. Actually, the auction just finished for the thing on the wall behind you, the big Ukraine. I think I got to check because no point in telling people they ought to bid on it. I think Vlad had recommended these, and it's very pretty. But let me see. I think we're done with those.
I have this one and this one.
Yep, somebody already got it. Yep, somebody already got it. Oh, well. Anyway, folks. So, yes. So, folks on YouTube and elsewhere, you will be able to hear Vlad. It'll be more like a podcast. And the folks on TikTok, you actually have Vlad in person. Just a reminder for folks who we are and what we're doing. I am John Aravosis. This is the Aravosis Report. Typically, this is my nightly show where I do 6 p.m. Eastern Time U.S. from Washington, D.C., where I am, and we talk about the latest news from Ukraine. We're still going to do the show tonight at 6. Thank you, Edsel, for the hat. Now, it's funny. I was wondering if it would actually, real quick, but I think the gifts may get picked based on who you want, maybe? Like, I think people can pick to put a gift. I don't mean to make you spend more money, but I'm curious, like, can you pick a gift to go on Vlad instead? I think. Anyway, you guys will figure it out. But anyway, I thought it'd be interesting this morning to have Vlad join us. He is from Kharkiv, Ukraine. So somebody said, you're younger than they thought, Vlad. Well, these young people, they're very industrious, you know. Thank you for the heart there. And evolving. Oh, no, so the hat, it threw the hat in the corner, but it didn't throw it on Vlad's head. Okay. Unfortunately, it's not recognizing your head, Vlad. Yeah, see, it's throwing it in the corner, but not on you. It's okay. I get them then instead of Vlad. Thank you for the gift there. So, but I thought it'd be interesting to get Vlad today from Ukraine. He is from Kharkiv, which actually I will show you. I've got my handy dandy map today. So I think the map is okay. Kharkiv is way in the northeast of Ukraine. This is all Russia, by the way. Kharkiv's up here. This is all the territory Russia's occupying. They were actually encircling Kharkiv earlier in the war, and then the Ukrainians kicked their butt last fall. And now the Russians are no longer in this area. Kharkiv is right near the Russian border, maybe 20, 25 miles. And when the bombing started, Vlad was one of the only Ukrainians to suspect it was coming. So he had already packed his car because at the time, his daughter was 3 years old. His wife really didn't want his wife and 3-year-old in the middle of a Russian bombing campaign. So drove them cross-country train and car and everything all the way to the corner here in the town. All the way. So Kharkiv up here, all the way cross-country here to a town called Uzhhorod or Uzhgorod, depending how do you say it in Ukrainian? Uzhgorod. Uzhgorod. Like Vlad. You got to be a little more Slavic. Uzhgorod. Uzhgorod. Like be a little more macho. Thank you for the gift there. Who was that? I got to see. Oops. It's making it harder for me to see who the gifts are from. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Maharet. It's sending. Oh, there it is. It's sending them by too quickly, so I can't thank you. Thank you, Edsel. So Vlad is in southwestern Ukraine now. Safer for his family, obviously there. And we thought it would be interesting to have you guys have him on and join us, talk about the latest in the war. And at the same time, we are going to be pitching you guys for the next hour or so. We'll probably be here. Pitching you guys on the latest fundraiser we're doing that is not for me. It is not for Vlad. We are trying to raise money to get 3 drone controllers. They're basically, Xbox for drones. I mean, at least as a novice, that's what I'm going to call them. Vlad's looking and going, not exactly, but imagine a little, because I've seen the little controller with a screen and the 2 little controllers, and it allows you to control the drones. This is for the military. What's the total now, Vlad? They're asking.
I haven't checked, something like 800.
Okay, like 800. We need 1,836 exactly, because they're $612 each. So we still need another 1,000 or so. Basically, so they're little drone controllers. The military has asked for them specifically. These are specific models that they're looking for. And these are particularly good for 3 reasons. One, they have longer range, so they can control the drones going farther, right? Because basically, right, the farther the drone can go, the more you can do with it. Secondly, these controllers are very good for blocking Russian countermeasures. So basically, it's harder for the Russians to hack them, or at least throw up enough electronic mayhem to stop you from controlling it. So that's good. And finally, and this is really important for the drone operator for their safety, these drones have got sort of a long cord that allows you to use them inside the house, like wired. Like you can be inside a house and the cord goes outside to control the drone. This is important because you don't want to be sitting outside, which normally you have to do, with satellites, and more importantly, other Russian drones looking at you and then dropping a grenade on your head. So it's really important to help these guys out. In any case, we're doing the fundraiser. I know it's not as sexy as the drones themselves, but it's really important. Not a dime is going to me. Not a dime is going to Vlad. It's all going to buy these drone controllers. The way you donate, and now we'll continue with the news, but the way you donate is in my profile on TikTok. You will see the Linktree link. Click it. All my links come up, including Vlad's PayPal info. You don't click, it's PayPal. You just copy Vlad's PayPal address and enter it in your PayPal and send the money. For you guys, you can use, I will put Vlad's, you can use the aravosis.com link on my page, but I'll give you Vlad's PayPal directly. So that's Vlad's PayPal directly. All right, let's talk a little bit about Ukraine. I mean, what's the latest? Just let's start in general. What's the latest? I mean, how are Ukrainians feeling about the war? What are you guys hearing?
So of course we are waiting for our
counteroffensive.
Yeah. That's the most priority, and there's a lot of rumors, a lot of suspicions, but in any case, our government asked us to not force this exactly topic, but that's another topic. What we discussed in the last days, that's the Bakhmut topic, of course. That's a very difficult.
Let me interrupt you just to tell people. So Bakhmut is the city in eastern Ukraine, right around here. It is still, mind you, the Russians control all of this. So Bakhmut is right on the border of what the Russians control. Ukraine still controls Bakhmut, and the Russians for 7 months now have been trying to take Bakhmut unsuccessfully, which is great. And the Ukrainians have been inflicting a lot of pain on the Russians by fighting back there. So actually the general in charge of the area just got fired because there have been so many deaths on the Russian side. So that's what Bakhmut is. So go ahead, Vlad. What were you saying about Bakhmut?
Yeah, Bakhmut, we have a great news.
You know what, Vlad? your volume. This is what I thought too. Your volume's a little low today. People on YouTube are having a hard time hearing it.
Okay. And now?
It's better. We need, you know what? We need to buy you a. It's coming through your computer mic again, just so you know. I think
No,
it's not.
Okay, let's check. And,
Oh
if I
God,
talk right
yes,
now-
yes, incredibly loud.
Okay, that's from phone.
Yeah.
Give me please 1 minute.
Okay, give Vlad a second. Okay, give Vlad a second. He's going to change his headset so we can hear him a little louder. Yeah, there's probably going to be an echo. In the meantime, just explain to folks. There's probably going to be an echo because if we were doing this just on TikTok, it would be easier. But I wanted the YouTube folks because we stream typically my show at night to YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, etc. And I wanted those folks to be able to have a chance to listen. And in order to do that, I had to put Vlad on a really cool speaker I've actually got for my iPad. But the speaker means Vlad's talking out of the speaker and you will hear him directly, but also through my microphone because it's through the speaker. So little bit of an issue there. You know, my speaker helps to get rid of background noise, but not as much. So that's why you will get a little echo just because I wanted to make it loud enough for the YouTubers. Okay. Oh, let's see. Vlad's got his. This is Eunice.
What's the three?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Okay. So now.
Yeah,
better?
much louder. Yeah.
Okay. It's gets from phone.
You know what? Then can you just move the phone a touch closer to you? Is that possible?
Okay. Yes, something.
Yeah, find something to prop it up with. We'll do it that way.
Okay.
Well, the echo is always going to be a problem. There's no way to get around the echo. Unfortunately. Because we're doing this. Sorry, folks, you know, live from Ukraine.
Okay.
Yeah, the echo, there's really no way around the echo, unfortunately. Vlad's eyes are mesmerizing. He does have blue eyes, doesn't he? I know it's like he's got a blue eye filter or something on. All right, we'll give a second and we'll cut back in.
No settings.
But TikTok always.
Do you know how to join to the TikTok stream from the laptop, but not from the phone?
It's complicated. Yeah. I should say it's complicated. I mean, in principle, you can. You just log into TikTok. I mean, you log into TikTok on your laptop. If it's too hard, Vlad, you know what? It's too hard. Let's just do it this way. We can just do it this way. As long as you're a little bit closer, people can hear you, you know?
Okay.
And just project a little too. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like when you talk, like I shouldn't be doing it because I've got a good mic, but I can tell I'm doing it as I'm talking. I'm kind of talking like this because it's making, well, I do it whenever my mom noticed this when I visit her in Chicago. Whenever I'm talking to you guys, I end up talking incredibly loud because I think I'm talking to a crowd. And when I get on stage talking to a crowd, I use my drama voice where you basically project from down below. But because I've got the good mic, I mean, I can talk like this and you'll hear me, but it's very funny. Anyway, so I am not going to project, but you just.
I have an idea.
Oh, okay.
Just a second.
Okay, Vlad's trying one more thing and then we'll continue. In any case.
Stream from the car.
Yep, I am using StreamYard. Spam is a liquid. That's how you guys are watching me. The problem with StreamYard is StreamYard and TikTok do not play well together, so that if you try to incorporate TikTok and StreamYard, it kills the traffic. Nobody shows up on TikTok. It's crazy, but that's what it is.
Okay, let's check now.
It's kind of the same. It's probably worse.
Okay, let me back.
I mean, actually, Vlad, I mean, don't worry about it. Just, you know what? Go back inside. Just talk a little louder. You'll be fine. Okay, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. He already did speak. I could tell it was softer, Ben. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Hilarious. Yeah, glad I saw your message before I joined. I'm glad we got your thing figured out. Sorry, guys, technical stuff. You know what is funny, though, is doing this morning because I put in the thing that we were talking to Vlad. It's getting us fewer people, which is fascinating. It's kind of interesting. I don't think it lets me change the topic while we're talking. Maybe because I put the topic as this, it's not letting me, let me see if it's letting me update the topic. It's funny. It's not, no, Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's not going to let me. It's not getting us as many people, which is crazy because normally we'd have 1,000. Like maybe actually the Russian trolls are probably sleeping. That's probably what's going on. All right, Vlad. So just talk a little louder and tell us about Bakhmut. You were saying Bakhmut, which is the Ukrainian city in the east, the Russians have been trying to get.
Yeah, and we have a pretty nice news about Bakhmut. That's one of our brigade. That's Voice of Da Vinci. Do you remember this shell what I showed to you with voice?
Yep.
And that's exactly this brigade attacks some Russians, and right now Ukraine's control it, the main road to the Bakhmut.
Right. Okay. Right.
This brigade Wolves of Da Vinci and also our Kharkiv 92 brigade that defend this road right now.
Right.
And that's pretty nice news about this one.
Right. Okay, good. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Russians keep claiming that well, here's the thing. The Russians keep making extra claims about how well they're doing in Bakhmut. According to the independent analysis I read, the Russians are doing better. I mean, they, sort of every day they're advancing a little bit, but they're not advancing that well. They're not doing that well. And in the end, any case, what I've talked about a lot, I mean, Vlad, you may disagree, but what I've talked about a lot is Bakhmut just doesn't matter. I mean, I know the Ukrainians say that, and I know Zelensky. Well, look, Zelensky has to say that anyway, because he can't tell his own people, I don't care about this town. From a U.S. perspective, at least, the Russians are a little crazy to be spending this much time going after Bakhmut. I was watching actually one of the experts on Sky News the other day, one of the sort of, the former generals, whatever it is. Oh, hold on. Somebody's giving us a ridiculously cool gift. Famine. Thank you for that. Wow. That was I have to stop when it's a really particularly nice one. Somebody was very generous with that gift. So thank you. We would, from our perspective, actually, no, Sky News. I was watching one of the defense experts. What he was saying was, in a nutshell, okay, Bakhmut's here. From Bakhmut, where the Russians want to go next is Kramatorsk, and is it Sloviansk, the town right north, Vlad? Okay, Sloviansk. That's what they want to go next. The problem is, from Bakhmut, there's really only two main highways to do it. One is sort of going west in the north, and the other is kind of going northwest. What the defense expert on Sky News was saying was, long story, but both ways are really bad for the Russians. They'd be going uphill. It's as if you're trying to climb a hill and people are up above you hiding and able to, not throw rocks on you. In this case, they're going to throw artillery on you. But the point is, it's very dangerous for the Russians to go up this way. And it frankly is a stupid way to do it. Taking Bakhmut does not help you take Kramatorsk. What the expert I saw was saying, mind you, I've seen others say the same thing, was you pretty much have to come from the north or the south and not this sort of northwest, whatever. In principle, to go to Kramatorsk, you don't want to do it from Bakhmut. In any case, it doesn't really matter, but there's a difference of opinion because the Ukrainians clearly put a little more importance on it than we do. Although the Russians do too, obviously, for some reason, which is interesting. Disagree with me, Vlad. Why does Bakhmut matter?
I think it's matter.
Speak up a little.
I think it's matter in any case. Why? Because Bakhmut is almost destroyed. City. Actually, it was a pretty big city.
Right.
And if our Ukrainians militaries pull out from Bakhmut and, for example, stay on the Chasiv Yar, Konstantinovka, and other cities, then these cities will be destroyed also.
Right.
That's why that's important to stay in the Bakhmut.
Okay. What I'm trying to think. Well, okay. Have you guys? I mean, is there much talk in Ukraine about these classified documents that the Americans have had that were, I think, stolen by the Russians, but hard to know? Here, it's a huge story every day.
Yes, in our news also.
Okay. I mean,
I don't have any opinion about this one. I don't understand at all the story. I think that part of just information war.
Yeah. Yep.
That's my opinion. I hear rumors that some of the documents is real. I hear another rumor that all documents it's just created special for this operation.
Right.
So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I was watching this morning the latest news. So we're talking about right now this document leak, classified documents, American, that do appear to be real. We don't know, obviously. Some of them could be fake. We do know that one of the documents on Friday that showed how many Russian troops have been killed and injured and how many Russian planes have been shot down was altered. Like, because the original document was online earlier, somebody found it, and I think it's the Russians. The Russians clearly took it and changed some of the numbers to make it look like more Ukrainians died than Russians, when in fact, twice as many Russians probably have died than Ukrainians. So we don't know how much of the document's real. I would say from the American reaction, I'm certainly suspecting the documents are real. It feels real. What was interesting this morning to me, which tends to suggest that it was the Russians again, story came out this morning. One of the documents shows that the Egyptians had secretly agreed to a Russian request to make rockets for them. Vlad dropped off. He'll come back on in a second. To a request to make something like 40,000 rockets for the Egyptians to use to attack Ukraine, mind you. And the Egyptians, who are a top American ally, we give them $1 billion a year, that the Egyptians secretly agreed to build these rockets. We don't know whether they were built or not, okay? But the story was leaked as part of this document. I'm explaining the Egyptian thing as part of this document leak. And what's interesting about it is this story is leaked in order to embarrass the Americans because their top ally was willing to work against us, and to hurt the relationship between America and Egypt because we give so much money to Egypt. You know, they're our top Arab ally in the Middle East, this kind of stuff, right? So it's very beneficial to the Russians to hurt our relationship with Egypt. But, and I was thinking about this morning, from a Russian perspective, however, if you're really smart as an American or Westerner, and you can spin this, the Russians just burned a country that was willing to help them out. Okay. The Russians went to the Egyptians secretly and said, hey, would you make 40,000 rockets for us? We're not going to tell anybody. You don't have to tell the Americans. Either the Egyptians did it or the Egyptians didn't. But either way, the Russians then went public and burned them and said, hey, they were talking to me about making rockets. If you're any other country secretly thinking of helping Russia, you've now got to deal with the fact that Russia will probably burn you publicly if you reach a secret deal with them. That's, to me, that's the one little silver lining to all of this, is that Russia, I think, hurt it. But it also makes me think, this feels like Russia. This feels like Russia. All of these leaks benefit Russia, almost all of it. I mean, there's some Taiwan stuff that's a little different, but a lot of it feels like it's Russia. Actually, even the Taiwan stuff, the leaks with Taiwan, you're trying to screw up America and China, which again is something Russia wants. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. I can keep asking Vlad questions, but if you guys have questions as well, please give your questions. Now, I will say, Vlad and I are doing this in part as a fundraiser for something we're trying to do. We're trying to buy 3 drone controllers for Ukrainian drones that the military is using. These are for the military, right, drone? Right, Vlad?
Yes.
The military has asked for 3 specific kind of drone controllers. They're literally Xboxes, more or less, that you use to control drones. I mean, that's it. But these are very good. They're high quality. They're good at getting around Russian jamming. They have longer range, which is great because it allows you to sort of see more things. And they've got a special wired connection where the drone operator can be hiding inside a house and protect themselves. So they won't be standing outside and get a grenade dropped on them by the Russians. They're only $612 each. We're only getting 3. We need $1,836. We've got around $800 so far. If you can donate, I'd appreciate it. I'm not taking a dime. Vlad's not taking a dime. It will go via his PayPal account, and he's literally procuring the drones and then getting them to these military guys. He actually, not drones, the drone controller. He actually already has 1 drone controller. He spent his own money to get it because it was too important to get. Oh, do you want to show them? It was too important to get it and to start testing it. So he spent his own money. So we're going to reimburse Vlad. Is that it?
Yeah, as you see, that's exactly this controller. which is outside.
Yep.
And this wires comes to the room, something like this one. And
Ah.
the way it exactly drone operator.
Ah, okay. And then with the where does the wire go? Does the wire inside go to some other controller or what?
Wire go to this operator. That's a video.
Ah, there you go. He's there with the control screen in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
And,
there you go.
Drone operator
Yep.
can operate drones,
right.
But stay inside in the basement of the building.
Yep.
And in the safe place. And one of the reasons that the operators stay in safe, and this is small controller not visible for Russians.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons. So that can be operated exactly by wires.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So
that's
yep.
That's how it looks like.
Yep.
It's pretty small, but pretty expensive.
Yep. Yep. Well, it's I mean, it's affordable though. Or actually, somebody was asking, Crystal's asking, are there wireless versions?
No.
Oh no, really?
No.
Really? Interesting. Okay, there you go. Folks were asking how to donate. The way we're doing it to make it easy is via PayPal. I've got Vlad's PayPal information in my TikTok profile. Basically, if you go to my TikTok profile, or you guys can just go to, well, you can go to aravosis.com, or hold on, I will put up Vlad's info again right here for you on YouTube. Oop, that's Vlad's info. For you guys, go to my profile on TikTok. You'll see the link that says Linktree. Click it, and it'll take you to a page of links. The very top link, not really a link, it's more an explanation, explains to you what Vlad's PayPal address is and gives you his full name. So what you would need to do is then copy that email address, the PayPal address, so to speak, the email address, go into your PayPal and send the money. It's a little complicated, but it's the easiest way to do it, because I don't want to accept the money directly, because I think, and frankly, there have been some issues lately, Vlad. I mean, you may have heard about it, Vlad. There was a New York Times story about some of the groups that were collecting money were not actually sending the money to Ukraine. I mean, it was a lot of weird stuff. So this way, it's frankly safer all around. The money goes directly there. I don't touch it. So there's no issue with me and people going, oh, you got the money. And also, frankly, it makes my taxes easier. I don't want to touch the money because it just makes my taxes living hell. So yeah, you've got the PayPal info in my profile. Easiest way to do it. Extra items you want to send to Ukraine, that can be a problem, Sassy Cat, because depends what your items are. Some of the items, for example, because we were looking at this at the beginning of the war, some of the items are not allowed to be exported by U.S. export laws. So, for example, Ukrainians were looking for Kevlar and that kind of stuff, right? They were looking for sights for guns or whatever, some of those. I forget, Vlad, there were a couple other things that we were looking at that I looked into, and it was like, oh God, you can't export them. Now, one of these military charities is in trouble right now, actually, because they said, screw it, we're going to send the stuff anyway. And now they're in trouble with US, with sort of US law enforcement, because they were basically exporting things that you're not allowed to export to Ukraine. So in any case, like I said, so anyway, yeah, the extra stuff is toiletries. Sassy, I'm just not sure. I guess it depends. It depends how much you've got, right? Because if it's a good enough amount of stuff, in principle, you could send it. I mean, Vlad, she says she's got toiletries she can send. I guess it depends how much you've got. You know, if you've got enough, well, you know, you want to reach out to me privately, because we can talk. We can talk privately. I don't know if you can message me.
Actually, we have some special deliveries for humanitarian aid. That's named Humanitarian Aid Cargo.
Right.
Ukraine, and you can send it as humanitarian to Ukraine. But in any case,
is there an address or something to send it to?
Yeah, it's in the United States address.
Oh. But in any case, that's very cool.
It's cost $1 per pound by sea and
okay.
$2.29 per pound by air.
Okay, so sorry. So how does it? So how does it work? Yeah.
What do you mean? How does it work? So in United States storage, this company collects humanitarian aid and then redirect to the Ukraine directly.
Okay. But you said about paying. Does the person themselves have to pay, or does the person just send it?
No, that's our part.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. So basically there is an, okay. So basically there's an address we can give people in the States that they can send stuff to. But it should, or no, how's the way to?
Yes, something like this one, but it should be pretty big.
Okay, meaning it should be a pretty decent sized shipment. So it wouldn't be the kind of thing you'd go to the store and have a couple extra boxes or something.
So
yeah.
I sent you a link where all describe how it's works.
Okay.
The minimum is 20 lbs.
Oh, 20 pounds. Okay.
Yeah, 200 pounds.
Oh, 200 pounds.
200 pounds, that's a minimum.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No maximum.
Okay.
And about deliveries, it will be delivered about 2 weeks by air and 2 months by sea.
Okay. Well, the 200-pound thing gives you enough right there. So it's got to be 200 pounds of stuff to send. Yeah. Okay. Okay. As long as folks know that. What are your questions for Vlad, folks? Otherwise, I'll keep peppering him with questions. But do you have questions to ask him? Are there any toilets left in Ukraine after the orcs stole them?
Yeah, some of them.
Some of them remain, yes. Oh, that's interesting. Ash is saying there's an organization in Chicago that's sending fire trucks and ambulances with medicine. Wow. Oh, and Anna's sending you a message in Ukrainian.
Say that's to noise echo.
What's echo mean?
Echo.
Oh, the echo. Sorry. Yeah, we know there's an echo because of the way we're broadcasting today. I've got Vlad on a speaker so that folks can hear him over on YouTube on my laptop, but it means the speaker is going into my microphone and you're getting an echo. So sorry about that. Normally we wouldn't have it, but I wanted the folks on YouTube to at least have a chance to hear him today too. I'm going to Chicago this weekend. Hugo is saying, when I visited Kyiv many years ago, I was impressed by their excellent education, among others. How are schools and universities operating during the war?
Absolutely okay.
They're absolutely fine.
Yes, schools for some of the region works remotely, for some of the regions works in place. University is the same. And especially, I know this one because my mother-in-law is teacher in the beginning of the school. And in the Kharkiv region, schools start working offline since the 1st of the September.
Okay.
Offline
or on? Offline, you mean?
Offline.
Oh.
They prepare to start working offline.
Oh, nice. So they're actually getting students to show up in person now.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's good. Wow. Now, Dark Chef is asking, has it been quiet in Kharkiv lately and have the attacks decreased?
Yes, lately decreased attacks. Quiet. It's not related to the Kharkiv,
right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to say, but Vlad showed me an image a few weeks ago of a Russian rocket that landed near his father's house north of Kharkiv. So there still is stuff like that happening, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, someone's trying to get someone here, frustrated with her being in Poltava. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the question is, but someone in Ukraine, women can leave. Men cannot, but men couldn't leave. I don't know if it's still a rule now. But
yes, still a rule.
Okay, but women can leave. She would just need a visa. So if she's got a visa, there shouldn't be any reason she can't leave. In principle, I would think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got a little more information, katakuzenos, if you've got a little more info, let us know. Vlad, just really quick. So how did you learn English? Because folks were saying your English is very good.
I use English almost every day in my work and start learning from the first class at school when I was 7. So I learned for almost all my life.
Well, now,
actually,
go on.
I don't think that my English is perfect. I continue learning it, so.
Well, but I
Something
mean,
like that.
you are literally one of the Ukrainians that people talk about when they say that there's this whole sort of class of people in Ukraine that have become tech experts, and they work for a lot of foreign countries abroad or companies abroad, and therefore their English is very good and they're super sophisticated tech-wise technology. And what's interesting about that is I was reading the other day an article comparing it to what's going on in Russia, because when after the war started, a lot of Russians fled. And then when the draft happened last fall, even more Russians fled. Remember, up to 1 million Russian men left the country in September and October to get away from the draft. Well, apparently that whole exodus decimated the Russian technology industry. So you lost a ton of young people who were the tech experts in Russia. In Ukraine, they didn't leave. In Ukraine, a lot of them are still there working, like Vlad. So it's an interesting comparison of how it's impacting the war effort, because Ukraine's tech experts are still there. Russia's smartest people left the country. So just interesting comparison as far as that goes.
And I know a lot about Russian technology in general, and their market is inside the Russia. They not working a lot to the foreign countries. Mostly project inside the Russia.
Right, right. Is there a draft in Ukraine? That's a good question. I've been trying to figure that out exactly. How is it working?
Yes.
But
yes, it's still a draft in Ukraine. It's almost non-stop. It's just regular.
But I mean, every young man doesn't have to go to the military. Every young man might have to go to the military, right? Is that the way it works?
No.
How does it work though? Not every man is going for military training, are they?
No. Right now we have a rule that every man should have been audited by regional center.
Should be what? Outfitted?
Audited. So
audited. I see. Okay, so at least every man. Okay, so every man has to go and at least check in with the regional authorities.
Yes.
But then what happens? How many have to literally train for the war?
I don't know about such statistics.
But it's not everybody, is my point.
It's not everybody.
Okay, so it's a draft, but it's a draft, but they're basically taking the number of men they need, would be the way I would put it. They're not saying every single man has to now work in the military and pop, pop, pop.
Everything depends on your luck.
Yeah.
Maybe you just go to audit yourself to the military center, to the regional military center, and in a couple of weeks you will be in the Bakhmut. That's an option.
Okay, so you don't know. Actually, go on.
But maybe you go every month during 1 year and nothing happens. So it depends on current needs of our military.
Yeah. Now, somebody did write a little message in Ukraine. I'm going to try to read this. One of the letters I'm forgetting, but Joanna said, "Дякую, Vlad," which I know that's thank you. Zate, I don't know if it's sho or shto. The shoe with the thing hanging down.
Sure.
Sho. Okay. Що ти робиш? What does that mean?
That's thanks for all my work.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, robish, like работаю? I mean, is it that?
Yes.
Okay.
Work.
See, okay. My Russian comes in handy-ish, but I know just enough to get drunk and cause trouble in Russia, which I did. Come here, you. Oh, sorry, my dog keeps wanting to go in and out because she is a cat. So the Volyn massacre. Oh, that's interesting. Don't know about that. Something about how are relationships now with the Poles from your guys' perspective? Were relations bad before with Poland?
No, not right now. Before what
but
you
before?
mean? For 400 years, yes, was bad.
Okay, but before the war started.
No.
Oh, okay.
Every time everything will be fine. We have a lot of products from Poland, and we export a lot of products to the Poland.
Okay.
We understand their language; they understand our language.
Okay.
Previously, I worked in the company who opens, for example, about 4 or 5 offices in the Poland.
Right.
So something like that.
Okay, no, I was just curious because what's interesting is one of the things the Russians have been continually trying to do, they're trying to drive a wedge between the Poles and the Ukrainians. And from the beginning of the war, the Russians have been putting out this disinformation claiming Poland is really planning on splitting Ukraine in half. And Poland has plans to invade and take Western Ukraine as Poland. I mean, this crazy, but it made me think there's some reason the Russians are doing this, that there must be some little bit of doubt about Poland and Ukraine that they're trying to play on, was what I was thinking, with the relations or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But Poland helped a lot.
Oh, yeah.
As I remember, Poland, about general health, we have statistics previously week, and Poland, that's country number 1 who helps Ukraine.
Yep. Yep. Well, Poland and Estonia, I think, have been the top two.
Yes.
The top two based on the size of their economy. The amount of money or value they've given based on the size of their economy. And the way I explain this to people is the US has given the most in terms of dollars, but the amount of dollars, but you have to look at it as you're donating to the poor guy down the street. If I give him $1,000, that's going to hurt me, but I'll live. If somebody who's blue collar, who's a working class, gives $1,000, they're not going to be able to pay their bills. So the generosity, in a way, is reflective of how much you can afford to give. So if you're poor and you give a lot, that's crazy generous. If you're rich and you give the same amount, that's still generous, but not. So the point is, for Poland and Estonia, they've given almost way more than they can afford, in essence. We've given a smaller amount compared to our total economy, what we can afford. So that's sort of the way. Now, having said that, we've been very generous. That's not my point. But the point is, if people got confused and said, wait a minute, I thought we gave more. We did, but Poland and Estonia have been kind of crazy generous, which is nice. Everyone else has too. I mean, the other Baltic countries, the Brits, I mean, you name it, right? The Germans have been very good. I mean, we criticized them at the beginning, but the Germans have been really good. Other questions for Vlad here, guys? Actually, John D is weighing in on YouTube, who is from Ukraine. I remember because he's always here. Vitania Vladovi.
Yeah.
Vitania? What's Vitania?
Мої вітання також тут.
Okay, you heard that. What's Vitania mean?
That's just hello, something like this.
Oh, I never heard Vladovi.
Greetings.
Vladovi? Is that kind of a cute?
Yeah.
Is that like a cute way of saying your name? Or?
No, that's to Vlad.
Oh, to Vlad. Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
Vladovi. Okay, cute. Thanks, John. More questions for Vlad here, guys. More questions for Vlad. Oh, we finally got a Russian troll. Yay! It took forever. I'm telling you, they didn't get notified. I think TikTok, unfortunately, kind of buried this today, and I don't know why. What do you do? I thought that was Vicky. No?
No.
You want to tell people who you are again, Vlad? Sorry, folks are asking who you are.
So right now, my primary position is volunteer. I'm working in organization Peace to Kharkiv, or if you say in Ukrainian, Kharkovo Mir, for the past more than a year.
Right.
That's my primary position. Secondary, I continue working as technical lead in the software engineering company. So we develop some software.
Now, somebody was asking what you did before the war, so to speak. But
yeah, a software engineer.
Okay, software engineer.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, see what else we got. Just saying. Okay, no more here. How will Vlad be celebrating Easter?
Yes, we will celebrate this week.
I mean, what are you doing? Just you and the immediate family?
Yeah. Maybe prepare some eggs, also maybe prepare some cakes.
So
You
as
guys,
usual.
you guys have some kind of an Easter cake or something that we
Easter cake.
don't. Now the Greek, okay, the Ukrainians, most of them are Ukrainian Orthodox. We're Greek Orthodox. We have an Easter bread we make that's, I would say, similar to an Eastern European bread, similar to the Jewish challah in some ways, in that it's kind of it's a yeast bread. It's a little bit sweet. We also put some spice in it that's, you actually can use vanilla instead. My Aunt Rose didn't believe me, and I made her it once. She's very purist on the Greek food, and I made it once with vanilla instead, and she goes, "Okay, that's pretty good." But we make an Easter bread that I know a lot of the Eastern Europeans do. I was going to say some of them call it Pascha, I think, which is funny because that's the word for Easter in Greek. It's Pascha, but I remember the bread is even called Pascha in some of the countries. But you guys, your cake is actually a cake, or is it a bread? Is it a cake or a bread? Or you don't know.
I think it's most cake.
Okay.
Let me
both?
show.
Janie Kova is saying it's. Oh, he's got it on his computer there. Okay. Oh, it almost looks like a panettone or something.
Yeah, something like this.
A sweet
Different
bread.
sizes, different yes. Yeah.
It's a sweet bread. Okay, it almost looks like a panettone, or clearly it's made to look like a panettone. So it is a sweet bread. Okay. But clearly you guys can Google it.
Actually, we name this also as panettone.
Oh, you do call it panettone.
This one-
Oh, funny. Okay, Anna's saying the same thing. It is panettone.
Yes, that's I heard first time actually.
Oh.
But yes.
Okay.
This one, for
yeah.
example, this chocolate panettone.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because panettone is Italian, and they use it, I believe, for New Year's. I always forget if panettone is Christmas or New Year's. I think it's New Year's. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Now they're hungry. I know. We're showing you all actually, it would be fun to kind of make. It's Pascha. Easter is Pascha. Oh, for you guys it is. So Easter is Pascha for you guys.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, because that's Greek. Yeah. Well, depending who did it first. I'm going to guess the Greeks came up with the name first. I don't remember what the origin. I don't remember what the origin of Pascha is, though. Like, although Pascha doesn't sound exactly. It sounds like Pascha to me doesn't sound Greek. That's the only thing. Pascha. It is. My godmother would know better. But okay. Sanya is saying, I'm from Ukraine, but I've never heard about panettone. Only Pascha.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, so for you guys don't. Well, I was going to say. Well, that was say. But yeah, Vlad was saying the same thing, that he had never heard it called panettone before. But what that page is probably showing you is that for those who know panettone, it's a similar thing. Because I saw it with the design and everything, and immediately thought that looks like panettone. So that's the Ukrainians are Orthodox, correct? Which is why their Easter, like my Easter, all the Eastern Orthodox Easter is next Sunday. Yep. What else, you guys? Sorry, I did see some other. What else we got here? Italian sweetbread, exactly. Excuse me. And then I'll do another pitch for our drone controller in a second here. So I'm trying to scroll up. It's a little harder here to find the questions. It is weird though. Yeah, the traffic isn't as much because I scheduled it. I wonder if scheduling at TikTok was playing games, because usually, hell, we'd have 1,000 drones at least come. 1,000 trolls come. How we met. So we met via my nephew, because my nephew has worked with Vlad for 6 years now. So my nephew put up, excuse my allergies. My nephew put us in touch at the beginning of the war as somebody who might be interesting to have on the show, which I did. We had Vlad maybe the first week or second week of the war, and he came on and talked about what it was like traveling cross country with the bombs and the cruise missiles and all of that. And then, I don't know, actually, then there was an issue of Vlad's family needing cash because you guys couldn't even, basically, long story short, but Vlad had given all his money to his family and friends that he took out of the bank. Nobody could get money out of the bank, all the ATMs, and he literally had no cash with his family cross country trying to rent a room. And the hotel rooms they were renting for $100 each, 100 to 150. Yes. I mean, it was a little crazy, the prices. So anyway, we raised a little money to help Vlad and his family get over that hurdle because everyone said, oh, that's the guy you interviewed. And then I don't know how we did it, but I think then Vlad and I thought, hey, if people are willing to donate, maybe we can have them donate to help other families. So then we raised some money for other families that Vlad met. And Vlad actually would even find people in town who needed help, who were refugees, and would give them some cash to help them. And then we just started thinking more and more, and I don't remember how we finally did it, but we just started thinking of more ideas. I think it was the nonprofit probably, because Vlad was working with this charity in Kharkiv called Kharkov Mir, and they are the charity, thanks for the gifts, guys. They're the charity that Americans would know is called Meals on Wheels, basically. So the idea is you deliver meals to people in need. Now, that can very often be, thank you for the potluck dinner, okay, for our Easter dinner coming up. It can very often be elderly people who can't get out of the house. It can be poor people who can't afford the food. In this case, it could be, obviously, I mean, it's wartime. People's local stores aren't even working, right? Because they're getting bombed and everything. Old people who couldn't leave their apartments. We were seeing on the news here, elderly woman, like 90 years old, who didn't want to leave her apartment. She had nowhere to go. So she's staying in her apartment with her little walker. Somebody had to bring her food. So this organization would bring food. They would also, it's in the UK as well, I didn't know that. They would also deliver food to, at the beginning of the war especially, people were living in the subways for like 2 months. And you had thousands of people living in the subway. They would they would deliver the food and set up like a soup kitchen in the subway. We've got video of it that I put up for you guys showing tables they set up, and people would line up and get soup and other sort of Ukrainian food, chicken and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, we started raising money for the charity to get food, and it just continued. And then lots of different things we've raised money for since then. But every step of the way, we were working with Vlad on this, and you know, Vlad and me both sort of coming up with crazier and crazier ideas of how we could help. So that's been it.
Actually, about a week ago, I prepared a presentation about peace to Kharkiv in general, and can show some numbers about peace to Kharkiv. Let me.
The organization more generally. Now they're backwards.
Like
it's backwards on your screen, but yeah.
Okay, 500,000 hot lunches we delivered, and 81,000 product sets for the people, and that mostly was in the first months of the war, when Kharkiv region will be semi-occupied, something like this one, and Kharkiv was bombed almost every day. That's some of our results.
Right. Well, and I mean, again, I don't want to go through all of it now, but you know, we raised money to buy 2 used cars for the charity because they were delivering the meals during wartime, and you know, there weren't a lot of cars left that weren't bombed, basically. So we bought them 2 used cars. We ended up buying a bus, you were calling it, but I'm assuming it was smaller than a bus. But it was a bus that basically we got money from you guys. We got money for the bus. We got extra money to buy medicine, filled the bus with medicine, and then it was secretly driven to Mariupol, which is a city that still is under Russian occupation, very brutal Russian occupation. They wouldn't let the Ukrainians leave. They were forcing the Ukrainians to move to Russia. Horrible. We got the bus in there, dropped off the medicine, filled it with people, and the bus secretly drove people out to free Ukraine so they could escape. We got boots for the soldiers. We've helped get drones for the soldiers. Right now, we're spending a lot of money on the camouflage nets, because one of the things we do as well, we've got our Discord. We do auctions on the Discord for sort of cool Ukrainian stuff, and we're taking half the proceeds from the Ukrainian stuff and sending it back to Ukraine via Vlad. And lately, he's been spending a lot of it on building these camouflage nets that the military uses to cover their tanks and things, so the enemy bombs can't see them. And the other half goes to support my work, because I always tell people I do this for free, and I've been doing it for free since the war started. So to do this full time, your guys' gifts either here on TikTok and YouTube, or the auction proceeds have been helping me keep doing my work, because I got to pay the bills. So it's been, I mean, we've got lots more. We've got a list of all of it, but that's the kind of stuff we've been raising money for. It's been fun. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Also because I've always preferred to give money for specific projects. I've never been a fan of giving an organization $100, because I always feel like when I was at the UN, the donations were a joke. People would give money. The money didn't go to the cause. We were raising money for like some tsunami or something or what. I forgot what. It wasn't the tsunami. It was I forgot what I wrote it down when I was there, but what the cause was. Some cause we told people we were raising money for, and I asked internally, and they said, "Well, no, the money's not going." I said, "What do you mean the money's not going to that?" They said, "Well, we'll use it for our expenses for our press department at headquarters, and the press department works on that issue among other issues. So it's kind of like you donated to help the poor people starving in Asia from the tsunami." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like in the US, that would be a crime if you said that." But so yeah, I'm not a fan of giving money to large organizations. I think giving money to smaller things, either smaller groups or like what we've been doing. Oh, the stoves. I did the rocket stoves. Yeah, Roshan was saying the rocket stoves.
Yes.
These little compact
One of our biggest.
Yep.
Yep.
These little compact stoves people could use outside with wood that allowed them to keep making meals in the wintertime when all their power was off. The power and gas was off because of the war. Yeah, so we had a lot of those made as well. Anyway, lots of different things. It's tough though. You don't know where it's going. I just feel sometimes, now again, the direct stuff, there was some reporting on some of the direct stuff was being funny games too. Some the New York Times had a story on it. You never know. I mean, it's always a risk. But
yeah, I noticed somebody asked about do we need volunteers to come there to distribute and make food? For now, no, because we not prepare hot food at all. We sometimes deliver humanitarian aid. That's something like product sets. But actually for this one need a lot of money. Because
what are project sets? What do you mean? What's a project set?
Product sets. I mean bread and oil, something like this one. Maybe eggs, maybe potatoes.
Oh,
that's like
basic groceries in essence.
Yes,
like the basics.
Like
okay.
Basics. Groceries.
Oh, produce. You're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So basic produce they need.
And we noticed that cost a lot, and including delivery, because right now I think exactly in the Kharkiv that don't need to be done because Kharkiv pretty safe. In the Kharkiv region, imagine that we deliver to almost 200 kilometers to one way, and needs to have money for the petrol, need to have money for exactly product sets. Sometimes it's pretty difficult, and we do this about 4 to 6 times per month.
Okay.
So when we know, and we do this when the most often situations that some of the militaries call to us and say, exactly in this village we have humanitarian problem. Please deliver something to this one.
Right.
We put about 1,000 kilograms into bus and deliver it to this village.
Right.
Something like this one.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna have you had any update? That woman, remember the couple? One of the people we helped was a couple delivering food for Harkovomir for the charity, and they got caught in a Russian bombing. And I mean, really horrific. Yes. Their car was the car was blown out that they were in. Literally the picture of the car, no windows, car destroyed. Imagine sitting in the front seat. And she had her eardrums blown and had to have surgery to repair her eardrums. And we raised money, I think, to get them a new car, or to help at least for a new car or for her surgery.
Surgery.
For surgery.
For surgery, yeah. Surgery was successful.
Okay.
Absolutely, she right now feels okay, absolutely, and her husband helps us with volunteers. He mostly helps with the masking nets also, and also with delivery.
Oh, okay, so he's been helping us with the camouflage nets, with delivering food, and the surgery was successful for her ears, though. That's good, okay. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, there was video of them also lying on the sidewalk. Oh, it was just I just can't even imagine driving and having literally your world explode around you. Jesus, you wouldn't really recover from that, I would think. I mean, emotionally. But, I mean, how are people dealing with this emotionally? Isn't it very stressful? Or is it a little bit less where you guys are because you're just not hearing bombs? Do you guys ever hear bombs?
No, right now, no. Me personally.
But, I mean, where you are in Uzhhorod, ever hear bombs or no? Or never?
No,
okay.
Never.
Because I know Ivano-Fransk or whatever it's called that's nearby, the Russians have bombed a few times, but it's not close enough for you to hear it.
It's I can say it's the problem of this region also. Usually, Russians bombed power stations or some factories or something like this one. And in exactly region where I am right now, no factories and no power station at all. So nothing to bomb.
Oh, I see what you mean. So at least it's a little less, you're less of a target.
Yes.
Yeah, I would still think, I mean, because Sonia is saying getting used to it, but a bit stressed at the same time. That would be my fear. I think for us, this has caused a lot of stress. I mean, any of us following the news, it's like, I find people were joking oh, Yuan, hey, sorry, my friend, let's arrange to catch up by Skype one of these days. Sorry, my friend in Sweden who, going back to like 2008 or before 2006, I was just thinking of you guys the other day. Let's plan a Skype. Message me or something. We'll plan a Skype to catch up. Forgetting Yuan threw me there. I was like, well, Yuan, Ukraine. Oh yeah, but for us it's stressful. I can't imagine for you guys.
I fully agree with one of the comments that Ukrainians don't get scared; they get annoyed. And
that's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. Ukrainians don't get scared; they get annoyed. That's funny. Well, you guys, I mean, I will say this: like the impression I get from you guys, honestly, Zelensky, I mean, a lot of the Ukrainians I've seen, there's a seriousness, I think, to Ukrainians that I see. There's something a little, I forget what language this would be in, but this means serious, where you kind of put the fingers together, you go kind of, there's something with you guys that I find just a serious. The Greeks kind of have it too. The Italians do not, but the Greeks have kind of a serious side to them, ironically, because people think of the Greeks as being, but there's something very serious. You guys have it too. Like, for example, I just don't see a lot of Ukrainians laughing. I mean, I realize there's a war going on. That's not what I mean. But I mean, personality-wise, it's just my impression from dealing with a lot of you guys. There's just something a little more in the character of but I'm saying it also perhaps makes you a little more solid when it comes to responding to things like this.
So that's why, because you don't drink a lot with Ukrainians.
Okay. That's a good point. Okay. That's a good point. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, actually, but the Russians are that way too. You get a Russian drinking and they're a lot of fun. I mean, when I was visiting the Soviet Union or in Russia, they drink and they're great. I mean, the problem is, and then they drink and they commit genocide. I mean, there's that side of them too, drunken Russia. Well, drunken anybody can be a lot of fun or obnoxious, obviously. Yeah. Let me tell you really quick on the fundraiser again, and then maybe we'll do a last question or two for Vlad and call it quits because we've been doing this for an hour. But basically, we are raising money, and we'd like you guys to help out if you can, only for another day or two probably. But we're raising money to try to get 3 drone controllers for the Ukrainian military. They're literally like Xboxes, so to speak, that control drones. And these are special because they've got longer range, so they can control the drones further away. They're better at blocking Russian countermeasures, because the Russians basically try to sort of hack in or put electronic interference out there. So it's better at blocking that. And these controllers actually have a cord. So you can sort of put the cord, so there's a box outside, but you, the controller, can be inside a house so that you're less likely to have a grenade dropped on your head by a Russian drone that sees you. So they're really good. They're only $612 each. So we need 3 of them, $1,836. When we started the show, we had about $800 total that you guys had donated, which is very nice. But we'd really like $1,800 if people can chip in, because it's important. The military says they need them. 100% of the money is going to buy these controllers. I'm not touching the money at all. Actually, it goes directly to Vlad. Vlad has been working with us for a year doing this kind of stuff. We've raised like $90,000 total. A lot of that has gone through Vlad. Some of that has gone different things. Like I bought $10,000 of medical kits for the military that went with Razum for Ukraine, that went with a well-known Ukrainian charity in New York City. But I don't even know, 50, 60,000 has probably gone through Vlad easily. And, you know, so far he's not wearing diamond rings, and he's been, I got you laughing, good. No, but I mean, it's been really successful. So the way you guys can give is on TikTok, go to my profile and you'll see the Linktree link in my profile on TikTok, click it, and that will take you to a page with a series of links. The very top link will give you information on Vlad's PayPal, and you can simply donate via, there's nowhere to click at that point. You just want to copy Vlad's PayPal address, his email, and use that email in your PayPal as the money to give to. For you guys, I've got Vlad's PayPal on the screen right there. You can just use that. It's on the YouTube. But for the YouTube folks, exactly, it's right there. And just if you can give, as I said, I'm not taking any, I'm not even seeing the money. Vlad is passing 100% of the money. Well, passing. He's literally the one buying the controllers. He's already used his own money to buy one.
Yes.
But our goal is to pay him back, because we don't want Vlad paying for this stuff out of his own pocket, because he's already paying for a lot out of his own pocket. So we're going to pay Vlad back for the one. In other words, pay for the one drone and then buy 2 additional ones, but not drone controller. So there you go. If you can help, I'd appreciate it. Ask maybe 1 or 2 more questions for Vlad, and then we'll sign off because it's 12:40.
Yeah, I see the question, what exactly controller name? That's name Alien Tech Duo second.
I always forget. What's the name? Alien Tech? Is that it?
Alien Tech Duo.
Alien Tech Duo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Duo second model.
That's the
second
actual,
edition.
that's the actual controller brand, etc. Yep. And please don't send it to my PayPal or my accounts, because it's really, as I said, for sort of propriety's sake, I'm trying not to touch the money anyway. I'd rather not touch the money because it makes it much safer as far as anybody questioning me. But also, it's really, I just did my taxes. It's really confusing. I had to deal with some of the donations last year you guys gave, and I appreciate it, but it makes it it risks me having to pay taxes on your donation. That's the bad thing. So please don't give it to me. All right. But and also, like I said, I prefer to have the money go directly, because then literally it's like boom, boom. We found each other because my nephew has been working with Vlad for 6 years now. Thank you, Carrie. I see you donated. Thank you. My nephew's been working with Vlad for 6 years. Vlad's a software developer, and my nephew hired him 6 years ago, and they work every day together virtually, because my nephew's in the States and Vlad's in Ukraine. But they've known each other for 6 years, and I met Vlad about a year ago through my nephew. So there you go. And I'm old enough that my nephew's pretty old too. So is the Alien Tech Duo a range extender?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Exactly.
Okay. But it's a controller as well as a range extender, or it's a range extender? I keep calling it a controller.
It's range extender mode.
It's what?
It's signal booster and range extender.
Oh, so it's not the actual control?
No, it's not actually control. It's just.
Sorry.
But you know.
Okay, I was explaining it wrong. Sorry. Oh, so this makes it so that the drone. This makes it so that well, it's 2 things though. It makes it so that the drone can go farther. It makes it so that the control of the drone can be less difficult can be more difficult for the Russians to sort of block. So it makes the Russian electronic warfare more difficult. But also, I see. So the person controlling inside, is that wire going outside, and then this thing we're buying is the thing sitting outside?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. All right. I explained it poorly. Okay. I'm not a drone guy. In any case, it's a critical piece for the drones that the military is using. That's what it is. Okay. Sorry, I explained it wrong. Nonetheless, it's legit. And by the way, it's funny, Vlad, because sometimes people will tell, like with the camouflage, we're also paying for camouflage nets. Somebody was telling me at one point, they said, I know they're making those white nets, but don't they need the colored nets more importantly because of the weather changing? And I told them, I said, just so you know, Vlad and I didn't come up with this ourselves. And the same thing with this drone. The military is specifically saying exactly what it needs, and Vlad is going and getting it based. So the military is saying which nets they need. Those are the nets we make. The military is saying what equipment they need. That's and they literally, Vlad showed me, like they're writing letters. They wrote a letter recently and said, okay, we need this kind of drone, we need this drone, and this drone, literally the exact drone, the exact model number. The military knows exactly what they need. So the military said they need these 3 specific drone extenders. That's why we're getting them. But I was just throwing it out there because sometimes people go, wouldn't it be better to spend the money on this? And I'm like, well.
That's exactly why we bought one, successfully tested, get approved from directly militaries, and they say, yeah, it works amazing. Please give us 3 more.
Got you. Okay, got you. Okay. Anyway, there you go. Anybody else? Oops. Oh, no. Oh, God. Great. My nephew tested positive for COVID. Great. That's lovely. Bug. Okay, I'll call him. Great, because then I can go home and catch COVID too. Great. Great. I'm heading home on Saturday to a COVID house. Yay! Oh, God, what do you do? I mean, it's spreading everywhere, except my mom's really old and he lives with my mom, so that's the thing I want to be careful with. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, with my mom, so that's going to be nice. Oh, what do you do? This is going to, it's like when I used to visit my sister at Christmas and her kids would get me sick when they were young. Because the kids would always get sick.
That some of the drones have range of 3,000 footage.
3,000 feet. Okay.
3,000 feet, yeah.
Right.
And
that's like 1,000 meters. Yeah.
I can say that during our testing with this range extender, one of our drone have range 7.7 kilometers.
Oh,
it's
really?
And defense with 3 this one warfare special, shooting for anti-drone system. So with this range extender, drone fly 7.7 kilometers.
Right.
And defend with this one defense system, anti-drone system.
Okay, that's interesting because basically what he's saying is, and you can extrapolate kilometers, but normally the drones can be controlled up to a little more than a half mile away. With this extender, they can be controlled to like 4 or 5 miles away instead of half a mile. So you're getting 8 to 10 times the distance out of the drone with this extender. It can go 8 to 10 times. That's the simple way to think of it. Even if it's kilometers or whatever, it can go 8 to 10 times farther with this extender. I didn't realize that. That's huge. I thought maybe it would extend it by equal amount or like double it or something. Wow. Okay, that is good. Wow. Yeah, good. Hugo's saying that's a good range for a commercial or consumer grade small drone. He's laughing. They know what they're buying.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, good. All right. Is the Foreign Legion still abundant? Do you hear much about the foreign fighters, the foreigners that came to volunteer for Ukraine, or not?
Yes, exactly. One of my friends right now try collect money for buy pickup for Belarusian Legion.
Oh, so they're still.
Well,
okay. Is the Russian one real?
Yes.
Because this was interesting, actually. So we had been auctioning off, and actually, hopefully, we're going to get some more. We were auctioning off some pieces of fighter jet that the Russian fighter jet that was shot down over Ukraine during the war, and we auctioned it off. And when I did my research on the jet, we found not only the name of the pilot, and he was captured, but the Ukrainian press said 2 weeks after the pilot was captured, there was an article in the Ukrainian paper saying that the pilot had joined the Russian Legion, whatever it's called, which are basically Russian troops who were captured in Ukraine and then signed up to help the Ukrainians. Which I was a little surprised because this guy's got like a young daughter and a wife in Russia, and I was like, is he really going to be able to go back home? But
I don't know if this is true or not, but in general, Russian Legion, Belarusian Legion, and in general, foreign legions work pretty good
okay,
in Ukraine.
right. So they have been. Okay, so there was one. There was some. Oh, Naughty Fox was saying you should experiment with directional antennas as far as getting distance and things.
Yes, something like directional.
Okay, he just mentioned it. I think he must be somebody who knows drones and stuff. So yeah, okay. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap up because we've been doing this for an hour and 20 minutes. So let's do a wrap up. Thank you for all the moderators. Thank you for joining us. As I said, you can go and you can help us buy these drone extenders. We need 3. We had about $800 in donations when the show started. I'm hoping we've got more now. Actually, can you sign in and just check real quick, Vlad? See how much we've got? And that'll tell people.
If I sign in, I need to close TikTok.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So-
Never mind. I can do an update. But we're trying to raise $1,836. If we get a little more, then we'll just plow it into either this or our camouflage nets we're making. But at this point, we did not have too much money. We had too little money. So we only had $800. We need 1,800. Again, we're buying these extenders for the drones that make it possible that the Ukrainian drones can go 8 to 10 times farther with this controller. It's an extender. It's like a Wi-Fi extender, but it extends the range of the drone. So for $600, really, really use. And these drones can be used for spying on the Russians. They can be used for dropping grenades on the Russians. I mean, you name it. But as you know, the drone wars have been very important in Ukraine right now. And again, they use it for peaceful purposes too. They use it to spy on the Russians and see where they are. So really helpful stuff. So if you can help out, please help. The way you can give, as I said, on YouTube, etc. Vlad's PayPal information is at the bottom of the screen. That's where you send the money. For those of you on TikTok, go to my profile, click the Linktree link, and you will see Vlad's PayPal information as the top thing on the page, and give there as well. And just it will go directly to Vlad, and I will not take a dime. 100% of the money will go to buy the extenders. So thank you. All right, guys, I will be back at 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight with my usual show here from DC. And thanks for joining us, Vlad. Glad our connection worked. We got good connection now. This is good.
Have a good day.
All right. Bye, guys. All right.
Bye.
See you all. All right. Bye. There we go.